Hello and welcome to this News Mobile special here from the US. What a night it has been at the Democratic National Convention here in Chicago. Vice President Kamala Harris's blockbuster speech seems to have turned the tables. I have two guests joining me today. Mark Elrich, a veteran politician, I would say, of the Democratic Party. He's also the county executive and a delegate here at the DNC. Mark, welcome to News Mobile. And Bianca Shah, young leader from the Democrats. She's the youth chair of South Asians for Harris. First off to you, Mark. What do you make of the speech?
I thought it was really good. I thought that, she opened up establishing that it's really sort of experiences, and I think one of the things she talked about, a lot of people can relate to. Her experiences aren't entirely unique, and I think focusing on, like, everybody has a dream who's here, and everybody dreams that they can, find success and be able to make it in society. And it's a message that, yeah, you should be able to do that. So I thought it was pretty effective, and I thought that after she, when she finished with the introduction, she really focused on, what the problems are with Trump, which are major, and the idea of having a president who just has no commitment to the truth and has no compassion for people is a little bit challenging if you think of a president as leader of a nation. But she also talked about the things she wanted to do and her belief that the problems that we face are solvable problems. I think she spent a lot of time talking about, the military and foreign policy. And I think she was, demonstrated pretty clearly that completely conversant in this. And she's, I would trust her more. I thought the Republican guy earlier tonight said I wouldn't trust guys to take furniture out. I thought that she did a good job of making a case that she can be trusted and she cares. And I think that she did that. I feel
That's
I
that's
think
a
if
good
people
point.
want
I have to interrupt you here, Mark. You made a very good point about trust. Bianca, a lot of young voters, were watching this convention. I know there was a lot of skepticism. Do you think they can trust Vice President Harris?
Yes. Yes, great question. So I would say yes. I think that with today's speech, as County Executive Albert just described, Kamala Harris did describe her American dream, what her path looked like from the very beginning, from her mother's roots, coming and immigrating from India, all the way to what she's done today. And what she has shown is, she got there through determination, through hard work, through passion. And what it's showing to all of us young South Asians in this country is someone is a path that we can now follow, and her steps is, the very path for us. So I think it's someone who demonstrated she exists. Our parents originally came to this country, came to the US, and that is a trustworthy cause to, invest in and put our work behind for the next few months.
Mark, Vice President Harris spoke about the immigration issue. You lead a county which is very diverse, and that's something. And you led a whole delegation to India. I know a lot of, and she's of Indian origin. What is your message to the Republicans who have been raking up the immigration issue? Because America is great because of the immigrants from all over the world.
Look, America is a country entirely built by immigrants, since there weren't any white people here until we colonized the place. So, we're all immigrants in a sense, but this country continues and has historically absorbed different waves of immigrants, initially from Europe with different languages and different cultures. And the secret to being successful has always been integrating people into society as quickly as possible. And so, it stands in stark contrast. In the early 20th century, there's a lot of emphasis education and making sure the immigrant community got, so would you say, accustomed or accommodated to what America was like and what we expect in society here. And you've got Republicans who don't want to educate the immigrant community that's here now. which is, goes against everything that we've done successfully in the past. So I think, that if people want immigrants to seem more like us, it would be really helpful if we'd educate them and give them a path forward. That's always been the way things work here.
That's a good one. Coming to you, Bianca, tell me what is the strategy for to woo the younger voters from here on? What is your sense? What are you planning now to galvanize voters for Vice President Harris and Tim Walz,
Yeah.
Coach Walz, as he's called?
Definitely. So things. One is just getting out the vote. So making sure that students who historically have not voted, so high school students that just turned 18 now are eligible, college students and, maybe smaller schools that have not previously been reached out to, or young, professionals and young people in their careers who have just not felt this type of joy and passion and involvement, or haven't felt like someone has wanted to include them and give them a seat at the table. Now we are going to be reaching out to them, making sure that they feel like they are part of this campaign, because as Kamala Harris said today, she is going to be a president for all of us, and we want to make sure that we are incorporating that into every aspect of this campaign in the next few months.
Mark, Bianca made a very good point about what Vice President Harris said about being a president for everyone. Do you think following this speech, will she get a lot of independents, undecided voters, and also some Republicans to vote for her?
So I think there are a couple of paths forward. I think one, with independents, we know from, what happened with Biden, there was less disagreement with his policies, but a lot of uncomfortableness about whether he could effectively go. And so that kind of tells you that, Harris can strongly defend the record of job creation and the things they've done, and demonstrate at the same time a kind of strength that Biden wasn't able to convince people he had. And I think that does really well for her, particularly with independents. I think with Republicans, I thought the comments from the former congressman, I forget his name right now, but he was the Republican, and he was the one who talked about how the Republican Party no longer reflects the values of the Republican Party. I mean, it's okay to have a president who fondles and abuses women. That would never have been acceptable in the Republican Party before. It's just disturbing. And I think, his point was that the Democratic Party is common with values than the current Republican Party does. And while there are differences on policy, the policy stuff, is something you can negotiate and you can work through. Values you don't negotiate. If somebody doesn't demonstrate values, it's hard to trust someone that doesn't see they have a moral compass, which Trump kind of clearly lacks.
Final question to you, Bianca. Tell me the same question. So will you be approaching a lot of younger Republican voters following the fact that, the vice president has talked about unity? Also, she's spoken about all Americans. So do you think that will be a big focal point for your campaign?
Yes, I think we'd be reaching out to everyone. So we'll reach to everyone, describing what the impacts of her policies would be on their lives, regardless of party. So Democrat, Republican, never voted before, independent, doesn't matter if they're previously registered or just about to register to vote. We want to make sure that we are reaching out to them and saying, hey, do you have student loans? These are her policies around student loan forgiveness, and reaching out to them and let them know is how her specific policies can impact and benefit your life in a positive way to help create that path so many people in this country want. It doesn't matter a party. We reach to everyone, like I said, to get them involved in this campaign and get them involved to create this brighter future for all of us.
Well, Mark Elrich, Bianca Shah, thank you so much for talking to News Mobile. You guys have a good evening. I know you have I think, an after party to go to. It has been a big night for the Democrats, and I know it's time to celebrate. But as President Obama said, that there's no scope for complacency, so you need to get those 270 electoral votes. And I know tomorrow is going to be a big day for you as well. Thank you so much for talking to News Mobile. So that was the News Mobile special coming live here from the US. Stay tuned to News Mobile for our continuous coverage on election 2024. Thanks for watching.